It happened just past midnight. A quiet neighborhood shattered by flashing blue lights and the echo of boots pounding against concrete. Inside, a husband and wife were asleep, their lives peaceful, ordinary. Then came the crash. A door torn from its hinges, screams, confusion, and within seconds, gunfire. When the smoke cleared, she lay on the floor, blood spreading fast across the tiles. The men in black uniforms had come to the wrong house, again. What they didn't know was who lived there, who they had just destroyed. Because the man kneeling beside her, clutching her hand as life slipped away, wasn't just another face. He was a former Navy SEAL commander. And tonight, the same system he once fought to defend had turned its sights on him. Watch until the end. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Before that night, Marcus Hale lived quietly. A decorated Navy SEAL commander, retired after 20 years of service, he had built his life on discipline, honor, and duty. He'd seen the worst corners of the world, places where chaos ruled and justice was just a word whispered in fear. But back home, in a small suburban town outside Atlanta, he believed in peace. He believed in the flag he'd fought under. Marcus and his wife, Alyssa, were the picture of calm. She was a school counselor, loved by every child who walked through her door. They spent evenings cooking together, laughing softly over old photographs. Their world was simple, grounded in love and routine. That night, Marcus had fallen asleep early, exhausted from a week of helping local veterans adjust to civilian life. Beside him, Alyssa read a book. Neither of them knew that. Just streets away, a team of officers was gearing up for a raid based on a faulty tip that would soon turn their home into a war zone. It started with static on the radio, a young dispatcher giving an address, a warrant, and an urgent tone that left no room for questions. A suspected drug ring, armed and dangerous, operating from a quiet suburban house. The SWAT team moved fast. The address matched Marcus's home. No one double-checked. At 12:03 a.m., the convoy rolled in. Flashlights off, safety catches released. The neighbors stirred but didn't intervene. A loud metallic bang split the silence. The breaching tool slammed against the front door. Marcus woke instantly, instincts kicking in before his mind caught up. He grabbed his firearm from the nightstand, his reflexes trained to drive his movements. Downstairs, Alyssa screamed. The sound of boots, the shouts, the chaos, all blending into something out of a battlefield. Marcus moved through the hallway, heart hammering, shouting that he was armed, that there was someone inside. But they didn't hear, or didn't care. The flashbang exploded. White light flooded the room. Alyssa stumbled into the open, hands raised, eyes wide from the glare. A single shot cracked through the night. She fell before she could even speak. Marcus froze, the sound echoing in his skull. For a split second, the house went silent. Then came the shouting, the confusion, the realization. He dropped his weapon and rushed to her side. The training that had once saved soldiers overseas couldn't save the woman he loved now. Blood soaked his hands as he tried to stop the bleeding. Outside, officers barked orders into radios. Some began to realize the mistake. But the damage was irreversible. In the chaos, a name spread quietly among the team. Hale. Recognition hit one of them. A decorated Navy SEAL, Bronze Star recipient, the kind of man whose name they'd seen in headlines for valor. But inside that home, all that mattered was a husband kneeling over his wife, whispering her name into the stillness that followed. When they finally let him stand, Marcus's eyes were empty, not of tears, but of belief. He stared at the men around him, each one a symbol of the system he'd once sworn to defend. The captain muttered apologies, but the words dissolved into static. They had raided the wrong home. The suspect lived 2 streets over. The intel had been outdated, unchecked. As paramedics carried Alyssa away, Marcus followed in silence. The world blurring into fragments, the flashing lights, the neighbors' whispers, the scent of gunpowder still in the air. In the hospital corridor, he sat motionless, the American flag stitched on his jacket feeling heavier than ever. He had survived ambushes, explosions, and war zones. But it was here, in the country he fought for, that he finally understood what it meant to be a black man unprotected. Even by the uniform he once wore, Alyssa didn't make it. The department called it a tragic error. There were statements, investigations, and promises of reform. But Marcus knew better. He had seen systems built to deflect blame, to protect themselves before protecting the people. He sold the house, left the state, and began speaking at community forums, not as a soldier, but as a widower. His story became a symbol, a reminder that service, medals, or loyalty could not shield a black man from prejudice when the lights flashed red and blue. He often told audiences, "I fought enemies overseas, but no battle felt as personal as the one I fought in my own living room." The world watched his story unfold online, another headline in an endless cycle. But for Marcus, it wasn't just news. It was a life torn apart by fear and assumption. How many more homes must be raided before someone finally asks, who are we really protecting? Which country and city are you watching from? Take care.